Did Kirk really try to take Mendeecees out on the road? Oh, this isn't just another messy reality TV feud. No, this is straight-up attempted murder-level drama, and the streets are buzzing. Sources are spilling some serious tea, claiming that Kirk Frost allegedly plotted to have Mendeecees handled during what was supposed to be a routine drive. But guess what? Mendeecees survived, and now the truth is creeping out piece by piece. So, the real question is, why would Kirk even go that far? What did Mendeecees do that made him snap? And most importantly, who leaked this chilling info? Was it someone from inside their circle? A friend turned enemy? Or maybe, just maybe, Mendeecees himself is trying to get ahead of the scandal before it blows up even bigger? One thing is for sure, this ain't just gossip. It's a full-on conspiracy, and we have all the juicy details. From backstabbing betrayals to life-threatening setups, this scandal is a tangled web of secrets. Buckle up because this is about to get wild. Mendeecees was driving down that empty road, completely unaware that danger was lurking just around the corner. He thought it was just another routine drive, just another moment to clear his head from all the chaos surrounding him. But little did he know, someone else had a completely different plan for how that drive was supposed to end. And that someone was none other than Kirk Frost. Yeah, you heard that right. The same Kirk who's been throwing shade at Mendeecees left and right. The same Kirk who's been plotting behind the scenes might have just taken things to a whole other level. And now, the streets are asking the big question, was this a setup? Sources close to the situation are spilling all kinds of tea, and let's just say, it's getting messier by the second. People are whispering that Kirk had been plotting something shady for weeks. Allegedly, there were some heated conversations, threats exchanged, and even some "I'm going to handle this my way" energy from Kirk. And then boom. This mysterious road incident happens, leaving Mendeecees shaken but alive. Coincidence? Or was this a well-thought-out plan that just didn't go as expected? Now, let's talk about the timing, because, baby, it's looking real suspicious. Just days before this so-called accident, Kirk and Mendeecees were caught up in yet another heated argument. And this wasn't just some minor disagreement. Nah, this was one of those, if I see you in the streets, it's up, type of beefs. They had already been at each other's throats over past drama involving Yandy, but things took a turn when Kirk allegedly started making some serious threats. Insiders claim that Kirk had been saying things like, Mendeecees has got to be dealt with, and that he wasn't going to let things slide. Now, normally, people talk big when they're mad. But given what just happened, folks are starting to wonder, did Kirk really mean every word he said? And let's not forget, Kirk has been known to hold grudges. This ain't the first time he's had issues with Mendeecees, and it definitely ain't the first time he's been caught moving shady. Just last year, there were rumors that Kirk was involved in some behind-the-scenes plotting to take Mendeecees down, whether that meant damaging his reputation or messing with his business moves. But now it's looking like things have escalated way beyond just words. Multiple sources are saying that Kirk had some associates in place, watching Mendeecees' every move. The streets are talking, and if the whispers are true, this whole thing was orchestrated down to the very last detail. Some are even speculating that Kirk knew exactly where Mendeecees would be driving that night, and that this so-called accident was actually a failed attempt at something much darker. The details are wild, and honestly, it's hard to ignore just how calculated this whole situation seems. Think about it. Mendeecees is minding his own business, driving down a quiet road, and out of nowhere, there's an unexpected obstacle? Nah, something ain't adding up. The timing, the threats, the history between these two, it's just too much to ignore. And let's talk about what happened after the incident. Because, baby, that's where things get even sketchier. Kirk has been acting real quiet about the whole thing. No statements. No public appearances. Just complete radio silence. Now, y'all know Kirk ain't the type to stay quiet when drama pops off. So why is he suddenly laying low? Is he trying to avoid questions? Is he hoping this all blows over before people start connecting the dots? Because let's be real, if someone accused you of something like this, wouldn't you be shouting from the rooftops about how innocent you are? Meanwhile, Mendeecees hasn't been saying much either. But sources close to him claim that he's absolutely convinced this wasn't just some random accident. He allegedly told his people, "I know what's going on." This was a setup. And if that's what he believes, then best believe he's going to start looking for answers. Because let's face it, if someone really tried to take him out, he's not about to just let that slide. And let's not forget the witnesses. Oh yeah, there were people who saw what went down that night. And from what they're saying, it wasn't just a simple case of bad luck. Allegedly, there was another car involved, one that was tailing Mendeecees for quite some time before things went left. And get this, the driver of that car? Yeah, they vanished from the scene before authorities even showed up. Now, why would someone just dip like that? Unless they had something to hide. And here's where things take an even crazier turn. Some folks are saying that Kirk wasn't just behind the setup. He might have actually been on that road himself, making sure everything went according to plan. A source who claims to have been near the scene says they saw a familiar-looking car parked on the side of the road right before things went left. And guess what? That car looked a whole lot like Kirk's. Now, let's break this down. If Kirk really was there that night, watching this whole thing unfold, then that means this wasn't just some talk tough and hope for the best situation. This was premeditated. Someone wanted Mendeecees off that road, and they wanted it to look like an accident. And let's not act like Kirk hasn't been moving funny for a while now. This is the same man who's been called out for shady business dealings. The same man who's had drama follow him for years. The same man who always seems to have an explanation for why things go left when he's around. But this is on a whole new level. While Kirk is out here dodging questions, Mendeecees is gearing up for whatever comes next. He's allegedly been talking to some big names in the industry, trying to piece together what really happened that night. And trust me, if he finds out Kirk really had something to do with it, oh, it's going to be a war. But here's the real kicker. There are already rumors that Mendeecees is plotting his own revenge. Yeah, that's right. If Kirk really thought he was going to pull a fast one and walk away like nothing happened, he might want to think again. Because if Mendeecees gets proof, oh baby, it's about to get even messier. Things are about to get ugly. The streets are on edge, waiting for the next move. Will Mendeecees come out swinging? Will Kirk finally break his silence? Or is this just the beginning of an even bigger plot that none of us saw coming? One thing's for sure, this isn't over. Not by a long shot. And just like that, the tension is thick, the stakes are high, and everybody's watching to see what happens next. But if you think this was messy, just wait until you hear what's coming next. Let's get one thing straight. Mendeecees isn't the type to take an attack like this lightly. If Kirk really thought he was going to pull a fast one, leave him shook, and just walk away like nothing happened, then he clearly forgot who he was dealing with. Because let me tell you, Mendeecees is already moving behind the scenes. And if the rumors are true, Kirk might have just made the biggest mistake of his life. Word on the street is that Mendeecees has been making some serious calls. And not just to his usual crew, nah, we're talking big names. People with real influence. Allegedly, he's been reaching out to industry insiders, legal experts, and even a couple of folks with connections that aren't exactly legal. And let's be real, if Mendeecees truly believes Kirk tried to take him out, best believe he's not about to let this slide. And here's where things get even messy. While Mess is busy plotting his next move, Kirk is out here trying to do damage control. Now that people are putting two and two together, Kirk is suddenly popping up, trying to act like he ain't got nothing to do with this. First, it was silence. Now, he's out here throwing out the y'all reaching card, acting like the whole situation is just some crazy coincidence. But baby, the receipts are not in his favor. Because just as folks started questioning him, some leaked messages hit the internet. Messages that, if true, paint a very different story. Screenshots allegedly show Kirk talking to someone just days before the accident, saying things like, "That dude thinks he's untouchable. He got too comfortable." And another one? "Bet money he won't see this coming." Now, I don't know about y'all, but that sounds a whole lot like someone planning something. And let's not forget, this ain't the first time Kirk has been caught saying shady stuff. This man has a history of throwing rocks and hiding his hands. But this is looking a little too specific to be just some random chat. And guess what else? M's team ain't playing. Sources close to him say he's about to launch his own investigation. Yep, you heard that right. Mendeecees is putting his people to work, checking phone records, surveillance footage, everything, because he wants to know exactly who was involved and how deep this goes. And let's talk about who else might be involved, because trust me, this whole thing might not be a one-man operation. There's been talk that Kirk wasn't working alone, that there were other people helping him out. And baby, when I tell you the names being whispered are shocking. I mean shocking. Some sources say Kirk might have gotten outside help, possibly even from within M's own circle. Now, imagine that, thinking you're safe, thinking you know who's got your back, only to find out that someone close to you might have played a role in setting you up. That's betrayal on a whole different level. And let's not forget, money talks. If Kirk really wanted this to happen, you best believe he had to pay off some people to make sure it all went smoothly. But baby, something went wrong. Because instead of mess being taken out, he survived. And now Kirk has a big problem on his hands. Because let me tell you, when a plan fails, loose ends start to unravel. And right now, folks are saying that someone who was involved in this plot might be about to flip. Yep, word is there's already somebody feeling the heat and they might just start talking to save themselves. And if that happens, oh, it's over for Kirk. Because the second one person starts spilling, the whole house of cards comes crashing down. And trust me, Kirk knows it. That's why he's been moving differently. Low-key nervous. Watching his back. Because deep down, he knows the truth is coming. And speaking of the truth, let's talk about what Mess plans to do next. Because best believe, he's not just going to sit around and wait for answers to come to him. Nah, he's on the offense now. Some people say he's already been in contact with officials to start looking into this whole situation legally. That means police reports, phone taps, and possibly even some secret investigations happening as we speak. And let's be real, if any hard evidence comes out connecting Kirk to this, oh, he's done. But then there's the other rumor going around, one that suggests Mendeecees might not even be thinking about the legal route at all. Some folks are saying he's looking to handle this in the streets instead. Now, I'm not saying anything for sure, but let's just say if Mendeecees believes Kirk really tried to take him out, he's not the type to let that go unanswered. And that's why Kirk is probably sweating bullets right now. Because whether it's through the law or the streets, the reality is, Mendeecees is coming for him. And let's not act like Kirk doesn't know he messed up. His whole energy has changed. Just a few weeks ago, this man was out here flexing, talking tough, and moving reckless. But now he's moving silent. Now he's watching his every step. Now he's avoiding certain places, avoiding certain people. And let's be real, probably sleeping with one eye open. Because deep down, he knows this ain't over. He knows Mendeecees is on his neck. And when a man like Mendeecees starts coming for answers, it doesn't end well for the guilty. So now we're at a crossroads. On one side, we got Kirk scrambling to cover his tracks, trying to keep his name out of this. On the other, we got Mendeecees gearing up for whatever comes next, making moves behind the scenes and getting ready to set the record straight. But the real question is, what's going to happen when these two finally come face to face? Because baby, when I tell you that moment is coming, I mean it's coming soon. And when it does, oh, you already know, it's about to be explosive. But if you thought things were messy now, baby, you have no idea what's coming next. Because trust me, this story is far from over. Now, let me tell you something. When Mendeecees sets his mind on something, he does not stop until he gets what he wants. And right now, what he wants is the truth. The streets are already buzzing and everybody knows this ain't over. Kirk might be laying low, trying to dodge the heat, but baby, he can run all he wants. Because sooner or later, the truth always comes out. And let's be real, Kirk ain't built for this type of pressure. He thought he could play dirty and walk away untouched, but he underestimated just who he was messing with. And now he's realizing that Mendeecees ain't just sitting back, he's out for blood. And let's talk about the new developments that have everybody shook. Because if you thought the leaked messages were bad, just wait until you hear about the latest receipts that have just surfaced. According to an anonymous source, you know, the kind that always seems to pop up when things start getting real, there's actual footage that might expose everything. Yep, you heard that right. Allegedly, There is surveillance footage from a gas station that shows a black SUV trailing Mendeecees just minutes before the accident. And here's where it gets crazy. People are saying that SUV matches the description of a car that Kirk has been seen driving before. Now, let's break this down because if this footage is legit, it's over. Think about it. What are the odds that Kirk's car just happened to be creeping behind Mendeecees right before he got run off the road? That's not a coincidence. That's a setup. And this is where things take an even wilder turn because sources close to Mendeecees are saying he's already gotten his hands on the footage. And baby, he's not just sitting on it, he's got a plan. A plan that could expose Kirk once and for all. But here's the thing, Mendeecees isn't rushing into this recklessly. Oh no, he's playing chess, not checkers. Let's not forget that Kirk still has connections. He's got people in his pocket, people who could try to sweep this whole thing under the rug if it gets too messy. So what does Mendeecees do? He moves smart. Word on the street is that he's planning to leak the footage in a way that guarantees it can't be erased. Some folks are saying he's already sent copies to key people in the industry, and possibly even some major media outlets, just to make sure that once this footage drops, there's no coming back from it. And if that wasn't enough to make Kirk sweat, there's more. Because whispers are going around that this situation might not just be about street retaliation, Kirk might actually be looking at some serious legal trouble too. That's right. If these sources are correct, Mendeecees' legal team is already preparing to take action. And if Kirk gets officially connected to this attempt on Mendeecees' life, we're talking about serious charges. And let's be real, Kirk ain't exactly a saint. His name has already been tied to some messy business in the past. If law enforcement gets even a whiff of evidence linking him to this incident, best believe they're going to start digging deeper. And you know what happens when they start digging? Old skeletons start tumbling out of the closet. And baby, Kirk has got a lot of skeletons. Now, let's step back for a second because while Kirk is out here scrambling to protect himself, something else is brewing behind the scenes. See, Mendeecees isn't just focused on getting justice for himself, he's also trying to figure out who else was involved. Because let's not forget, there's been talk that Kirk didn't act alone. And Mendeecees knows this. He knows that someone, somewhere, helped make this happen. And that is why folks are saying he's been having some very interesting meetings lately. Word is, Mendeecees has been sitting down with some unexpected people who might have key information about what really went down that night. And baby, this is where things get really messy. Because some folks are saying that one of the people Kirk trusted the most might actually be the one to turn on him first. Now, we don't have a name yet, but if the rumors are true, somebody close to Kirk is already talking. And once that floodgate opens, it's a wrap. Because let's be honest, when people start realizing they could go down for something like this, loyalty goes out the window. And if Kirk really had people helping him, best believe at least one of them is going to flip to save themselves. That's just how the game goes. But here's the biggest question of them all. What happens when Mendeecees and Kirk finally come face to face? Because let me tell you something, Kirk might be out here trying to lay low, but he can't hide forever. At some point, these two are going to have to confront each other. And baby, when that happens, it's going to be explosive. Because let's be real, Mendeecees ain't about to let this go. And Kirk knows it. And with the way things are unfolding, this ain't just about revenge anymore. This is about clearing a name. Exposing a snake. Making sure the world knows the truth. And let me tell you, when the truth finally comes out, somebody's career, reputation, and maybe even their freedom is going to be on the line. So now, I have to ask y'all, what do you think? Is Kirk really behind this? Or is Mendeecees just putting pieces together the way he wants to see them? Will the leaked footage finally bring Kirk down once and for all? And most importantly, what's Mendeecees' next move? Because baby, if there's one thing we know for sure, this story is far from over. And there you have it, folks, one of the wildest stories unfolding right before our eyes. But now we gotta ask the real questions. Is Kirk really behind this? Or is Mendeecees just connecting dots that might not actually lead to him? Will that leaked footage finally be the nail in the coffin? And more importantly, if Mendeecees is gearing up for revenge, how far is he willing to go? Y'all already know, this ain't over. Not even close. So what do you think happens next? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I know y'all got some theories. And while you're at it, Don't forget to smash that like button if you're just as shocked as we are right now. And baby, if you want the next update on this mess before anyone else, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications because trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next. This story is about to take an even crazier turn, and when it does, we'll be right here breaking it all down.